Iosco County, Silent No More in Warsaw, Indiana. I think we would make a great science experiment in this room. Can you imagine, looking around you, how many type A personalities are in here today? I feel the roof starting to rise. I want to talk to you today about two things, but first I want to thank you for being here. As a mom of 4 children, a wife, I have a full-time job. I know the sacrifice you made to get here today, and we're grateful for each and every one of you. I want to thank you also for your leadership. You're not thanked enough. People have no idea how much time you give daily for the cause of freedom. And I want to say thank you. And I'm humbled to stand here with you today. I shouldn't be up here. You all should be here. I am thankful for each and every one of you. I'd like to talk to you today about 2 things. I can feel the tension in the room. You want to know why. And you know what? You want to know how. And so I'd like to talk to you this morning for a little bit about the why and the how. Pat spoke this morning about the what. We needed to hear that. I know a lot of us are anxious to get going, but we needed to hear what we're here for. But why Hoosiers for Conservative Senate? Why that name? I want you to rewind in your minds about 8 months ago. It was May 2010, remember? I'd like you to take a picture, or take a look at this picture that we're going to put up here. What goes through your mind when you see this picture? It's kind of a funny picture. We've got somebody at the top, looks like he's got a clipboard, he's bossing the people at the bottom. We got the people at the bottom trying to tell him what to do. Does it look familiar at all? I just saw this and I was amused. And I thought of the 2010 senatorial race. And it just made me giggle because I thought, there's us 8 months ago. What's missing here? There's one thing that's missing, 2 things that are missing. Number 1 is unity. They're not unified. They're all doing their own thing. They're looking around, Boston, touting. There's no plan. No plan. No goal. Looks like a lot of ambition. These guys look like they want to get that rock up the hill, but there's no unity. In the 2010 senatorial race, I saw groups work exhaustively. How many of you guys were exhausted after this? Exhaustively. I saw you work selflessly. You gave of your lives, you gave of your families. How many of you have missed some family time the last 2 years? How many of your spouses think you're crazy? My husband's hand is not up. He's looking away. I saw passion. I stood here today with tears in my eyes and I thought, how am I going to talk? You guys worked hard. And I'm so proud to stand with you. But because there was no unity, because there was no plan, we split the vote. We learned our lesson. My hands are here. We learned our lesson. Why Hoosiers for Conservative Senate? Because when we decide to work together, putting our differences aside, putting our own groups aside, putting our own agendas aside, working together in unity, the impossible will happen. Indiana will elect a conservative senator. I want you to take a look around you today. There's 70 groups here. I got the word that we had about 95% of the people show up today. We had some people who had to turn back. We had some family emergencies, so we're missing a couple of groups. But I want you to look around. This is not the Tea Party as a whole. These are all leaders in this room. How many do you think we represent here today? It's huge. This is an historic day in Indiana for us to be in one room together. How are we going to move forward? What's the plan from here? Number 1, we have to make a decision. We have to decide if we're willing to unite. Number 1, do we want a conservative senator? I want you to picture with me a construction site, and I'm not a home builder at all, so I may have this all wrong, but just go with me down this path for a little bit. I want you to imagine with me a construction site. If we want to build a house, I'm going to go get my hammer, going to bring some nails, and we're going to start building the roof. We start with the foundation. Our foundation today has got to be built on unity. We cannot begin building until we agree together that we need to unify. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what we're here to do today. Once we have that foundation of unity, you can see the diagram. This is where we're going to go. Once we have that foundation of unity, then we can build the first level of the house. Did you know, in a poll released by Senator Lugar, 66% of Hoosiers approve of Senator Richard Lugar? We have a problem there. What's the problem? That tells me that Hoosiers are not educated on his liberal voting record. They don't know what he's voted for. I'm 35 years old. He was elected the year I was born. I voted for him. Have I voted wrong? No, I didn't know. I didn't know. He started out as a conservative senator. No longer. People do not know. They have been comforted by the fact that Richard Lugar is on there. He's a Republican. He must be good. We have to educate Hoosiers. That has got to be phase one. When we leave here today, look at how many people in Indiana that we could affect by educating Hoosiers. We're going to go into, in session B, just in case you're wondering what's going to happen later on this morning, we're going to go into the details and the nitty-gritty. So we're going to get our hands dirty today. But we wanted to give you the vision and the direction of where we see this thing headed. And feel free to grab us afterwards and tell us we're wrong. It's okay. But, so we're going to go into more education, or more details in session B. Once we have done step one, which is Lugar education, the next level is the one we all got right last year. We are pros at the second level. We know how to educate Indiana, do we not? Yes. How many candidates went around to our different groups? We educated the dickens out of Indiana about the candidates. and around again. We know how to do this one. If we don't know, if Hoosiers don't know who the candidates are and who they're voting for, we're going to fail. We have to educate Hoosiers on the candidates. That means not stopping level one. We have to continue the education process. And I think he's giving us enough, I was going to say ammunition. He's giving us enough that we can work through. Look at last weekend with the Second Amendment attack. He will give us enough to educate on. So we're going to continue educating people on his voting record. But we're also going to educate as the candidates start to come out and show themselves to us. The third level of the house is ready to be built after this. This is where the nuts and bolts are going to take place. We need to agree on one candidate, the caucus. We don't know what the caucus looks like right now. It's a blank slate. We know it has to happen. We're so thankful we have Freedom Works here. I have spoken to several of you this week. The last couple of weeks have brilliant ideas on what a caucus would look like and how it would, how we could form together, make it fair, make it right. That's a blank slate right now. We must do a caucus. We must decide to unite around one candidate.